Bringing Back to Smile with myself, Dave Sheahan, high performance consultant and dedicated now for over 25 years, crazy to think about it, over 25 years to educating, motivating, and hopefully inspiring people just like yourself to live your best life, to evolve into the best version of yourself, to turn all the visions you have for how you would like your life to be into a reality. Because the reality is, and the truth is, and the fact is that you, like me, like everybody, we can have the life that we want. We can be who we want, have what we want, experience what we want, and so on. But what does it take? It takes belief, it takes vision, it takes action, most importantly, action. So it's very important, again, to get into the right kind of mindset. And that's where I'm bringing back the Smile's focus so much again on the mind and what goes on between your ears and how to improve your thought process and to create a bit more of a positive mental attitude. That's really important. Now, before we get into the midst of Bring Back the Smile this week, I want to start off by congratulating Lyra Media founders, Pat Barry and Mary Honan, for securing, finally, after a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of heartache, a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges, an FM license for Lyra Media. So I'm absolutely delighted. I just want to say that these two people are amazing. They created a vision a number of years ago of what they want for Lyra Media. They've kept at it and at it. They felt like giving up, I know personally, for a few times, but it was a case of keeping going. It's like every goal, every dream you have to just keep going and going, keep knocking your head in that door, even if it seems like it will never, ever open. And it kept knocking and knocking and knocking. And then yesterday, finally, it was confirmed. So we're going to be coming to the airwaves. So all these amazing shows that you have been watching online or listening to this podcast and so on, now it's going to be soon, hopefully very soon, on the airwaves as well. So another method of listening to us and all the amazing shows that are on Lyra Media, and also more exposure, more people should be able to tune in and so on. So another way of positively impacting people with, again, the mission of Lyra Media and getting the great shows. And it's such a diverse range of shows, which is fantastic. I'm sure there'll be more and more coming. And I know we've even discussed some new shows that we're going to bring to the airwaves too. So excited for that. So Mary and Pat, fantastic. Well done. Super duper proud of you, and so proud and honored to be part of this journey as well. So, in tying in with that, even, this is what I want to speak about in this particular episode of Bring Back the Smile. Look, the reality is you have a life vision you want to have, okay? Now, the chances are you're not quite living it right now. Some people are, some people aren't. The majority aren't, okay? So I'm going to assume that you're part of the majority, that you're not living your best life. You're not living a life that is bringing you success and fulfillment and happiness on a daily basis, that you want more. You want more out of life, okay? Because for most people, that is the case. They want more than they currently have in their life. And that's cool, and that's the way it should be, and should never be quite satisfied. Always be grateful. There's a big difference between, never being satisfied and people thinking, oh, that's greedy and you can never be happy and so on. Big difference between someone who's like that, always striving for more, never, ever happy, far away hills of green, all that kind of stuff, to someone who strives to be the best version of themselves, who strives to keep improving their life and add more happiness and fulfillment, but at the same time marries that with gratitude. That's something that's really important. You should be grateful because you right now have so much more and such a better life experience than so many. But on the other side, there's many that are having a better life experience than you and are doing things that you would like to do and living an experience that you would like to live. So it's no problem with trying to strive for more. It's no problem not being satisfied with where you are right now. But what's important is to make sure you marry it with gratitude, okay? That's so important, because if you don't marry it with gratitude, you'll never be happy. It's impossible. And we need to be grateful. We need to have gratitude in our life. That's something that's really, really important, okay? So what I want to speak to you about today is, you are where you are right now. Whenever you're listening to this, whatever time, day of the week it might be, phase of the month, time of the year, phase of your life, you are where you are right now. And, your decisions and actions up to this point have left you to where you are right this moment. And we have to own our decisions and our actions and our behaviors. And this is what so many people don't do, okay? It's important you own it. Most people live in a mentality of fear. Most people live in a mentality of blame. Most people live in a mentality of making excuses for where they are. It's always somebody else's fault. There's always some reason why they are where they are, why they don't have what they want, why they're not the type of person that they'd like to be, why they don't have as much money, why they're in a job they hate, a relationship that doesn't fulfill them, all the bodies that they don't like. People make excuses and people play the blame game. It's always something or someone else's fault. You need to break away from that. You need to own your life. Like where you are right now, like where my life is at this moment is because of my behaviors, decisions, and actions, and my thought process as well. That's something that's really important that we'll get into, okay? But my thought process, my behaviors, my decisions, my actions have put me in this place. Whether right now is a good place in my life or a bad place in my life, it's kind of mixed right now. Some areas good, some areas not so good. But I have to own that I am the person who's put me in this position. It's not someone else's fault that an area of my life isn't as fulfilling or happy as I would like it to be. It's not someone else's, it's not because of someone else that an area may be amazing right now. I've put myself in the position for either of those two things, okay? And this is important for you to own that, because when things are not going well, when we're facing challenges, when we're facing obstacles, when we're having bad experiences, it's the easy option to go blame something else and not take ownership. But the reality is you have to take ownership. Now, that's not to say that there aren't factors outside your control. There's loads of factors outside your control. You can't control people. You can't control world events. You can't control economies. You can't control change that happens in the world and so on. And they'll all have an impact on you in different areas of your life, okay? You can't control what kind of environment and family you're born into, where you're born into, okay? So there's elements you can't control, but you can control how you react to them. And that's the most important thing. That's why we have to take ownership of where we are, because it's our reactions that are leading us to where we are in this moment. Just like your reactions and your behaviors and your decisions in the next week are going to determine where you'll be in the following week. And that as a whole will have an impact on where you'll be in a month's time or a year's time or 2 years' time. So it's like you're constantly creating. We're in a constant creative mode, okay, in how we're living our lives. So it's very important you own that and you move away from blame and you move away from excuses, because until you do that, it's impossible for you to move forward and it's impossible for you to create the life you want. Impossible. Okay, so I want to get that clear straight off the bat, because too many people are living like cuckoo land where they think they can sit back and just wish for something that's just going to come towards them. And if you've read the book The Secret or watched the movie, that's the one big flaw in it. It puts so much into, feeding you information about put it out there, put it out there, put it out there, put out the intention, see yourself in possession of the goal, believe it's going to happen, visualize all that, which is all powerful and all really, really important in making your life the way you want it to be. But the most important ingredient is action. If you can talk all you want about something, you can think all you want about something, you can write down your goals all you want, but if you don't take action, it's not going to change. Nothing's going to change. So if you want to achieve a certain goal or turn a certain dream into reality, or create the life vision that you want, or have your ideal relationship, or have your ideal job, or have a certain amount of money in the bank, or go experience a certain experience in the world, or visit a certain place, or whatever it is you want to have in your life, have a certain type of body shape, or achieve a certain athletic endeavor and performance event, you have to make it happen. It won't just happen. So own it, okay? The first step is owning that. You are where you are right this moment because of you, nobody else. Look in the mirror. Every single night you should look in the mirror and be totally honest with yourself. Was that my best day? Did I give everything I could? Could I give it any more? Was I my best self today? And if you weren't at some stages, why was that? Learn it, learn lessons from it, okay? But be 100% honest with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. That person looking back to you in the mirror is the person who has put you where you are. Be honest with yourself, eyeball yourself. It's something that's really important to do all the time, okay? So make sure, again, you're doing that on a regular basis. I can't stress enough to you the importance of owning your life where it is right now. It is just so, so important, okay? So make that happen. So, I want to speak to you today about just a simple goal setting process to help you improve your life from where it is now to where you want it to be. And this is something to do on a regular basis. I get clients over the years to do this. Usually when I work with them to do this, and then to keep going back over it on a regular basis. Because if you keep going over it on a regular basis, you typically will see that certain goals maybe aren't as important anymore. Certain ones you'll have achieved. You need to add new ones. You need to tweak certain ones. You've ticked off a lot of action steps. You need to again decide on next action steps and so on. So it's like an ever-evolving process. Just like for you, you should be an ever-evolving process too, as a person. Like every day we should be evolving into the best version of ourselves. Evolve into the best version of yourselves, and it's a lifelong process. You don't just get to a point where you're the best version of yourselves, because you can be a better version the next day, the next week, the next month, the next year. Keep evolving, keep that mindset. keep evolving to the best version of yourself, and also to keep creating the life you want. This is the two things to always aim for in life, okay? Always in life. Keep working towards those things, okay? So what I want you to start with is we're going to look at the four main areas of life as I see it, and I want you to decide on what your number one goal is for it. Now, your goal for it could be something that you want to happen in 20, 30 years' time. It could be something you want to happen by the end of the year, by the end of the month, or it could be by next week. It doesn't matter. What is the most important thing for you to set as a goal in each area? So let's start with our relationships, okay? And when we think of relationships, we always think of intimate relationships. A relationship doesn't always have to be an intimate relationship. You have a relationship with yourself, most important one of all. You have a relationship with, if you've got kids, you've got a relationship with a partner, if you have a partner. You have a relationship with parents and siblings. You have a relationship with friends. You've got a relationship with work associates then as well. So you've got all those different types of relationships. And what's really important is that you decide which of them is the one you want to focus on most, which is the one that needs to change the most, okay? So which one do you want to work on to the very best? Which one do you need more out of? It could be yourself. For a lot of people, they need to work on themselves. And if you're not working on yourself on a continuous basis, it's going to be very hard for you to get to where you want to get to, okay? So our most important relationship is actually the one we have with ourselves. And that's one, again, to be working on all the time anyway. But where you are in your life right now, where you are in between your ears and your mindset, maybe you need to focus on your relationship with you first. Maybe you need to fix some of that or improve some of that, okay? Because we're all impacted by various traumas throughout life. We're all impacted by various relationships. We're all impacted by various experiences and environments we grew up in, and situations and challenges and so on. So it's important for us to, again, own that and see where we can improve. Like I said, it's an ever-evolving process. You never get to the end. You're always working on you, or you should be always working on you, because, you know, aim to be the best version of you that you can be. So that's one relationship. I said it might be an intimate relationship, whether you have a relationship with a partner or you don't. Maybe it's because you want to have a particular type of relationship with a partner and you don't have one, or maybe you have one and you just want it to improve. And you know that it can be improved, whether that be partly what you can do, they can do, both of you can do, and so on. So, you know, what area of the relationship sphere do you want to work on? What is the number one goal you have in it? Okay, and then decide what that goal is. So I want you to think about that right now for a moment. You know, as you're listening to this, I want you to be writing. I want you to be writing out answers to these. You can always fine tune them later on, but at least scribble a few notes, or literally write down if it comes to you immediately and you know what it is, write it down and have it there. But, you know, what is your goal? What's your number one goal in the relationship area of your life? Like I said, would it be your relationship with you, relationship with a partner, a relationship with kids, a relationship with family members and siblings, a relationship with friends, a relationship with associates of any kind? So which relationship do you want to work on most? And like I said, it can be attracting one, or it can be improving one. It might even be eliminating one. That might be the most important thing that you do. It might be something you need to do, because toxicity is rife in our lives in terms of we're surrounded by so much negativity and toxicity, and relationships can be a major source of it. And sometimes that might be your biggest action set. It might be a goal you need to set. Well, it might seem like a weird goal. It's an important goal, because it will have such a massive impact in your life when you go and do it. Okay? So I hope that kind of is making sense. So, you know, start scribbling down something around the goal around relationships. Because it's such a big area of our life. It's like when we come to the end of our days, when, you know, people in nursing homes or elderly, or people, it doesn't even have to be elderly, people who are literally, you know, they're dying and they're at the end of their days. They haven't long to go. When they're asked again about life, the main thing that people always talk about and remember and reflect on is relationships. It's rarely about money. It's rarely about power. It's rarely about fame. It's rarely about possessions and material stuff. You know, it's rarely about any of those things. It's typically about the relationships they had, the experiences they had with people. And it's the thing, like, as humans, we're social beings. We need to interact with others. We thrive off interactions, but we need to always be mindful of how to decrease toxicity within those relationships, because far too many people are living lives with, you know, toxic people, toxic in general, in terms of, you know, it doesn't have to be, again, just intimate. It could be just people that are around, people that grew up with anything. Because again, if you're growing and people aren't growing, then you're moving further away. That can be difficult then as well. So within your relationships, what is the goal? What's the number one goal you've got? So you should have that written down by now, okay? The number one goal. Okay, let's go to mind, body, health area. So in that whole area, general health and well-being, body shape, how you feel about it, how you feel in general about in your body and your health and your energy and your brain function, your mindset, all these different areas. This should be the primary concern for you. This should always be a priority. You should always be looking to see how can you improve in this area. Like always, this is where I'm saying even at the start about evolving into the best version of you. You can always improve your body shape, always improve your energy, always improve your fitness. You can always improve your health, your well-being, your mindset, your brain function. All these things can continuously improve if you put the work in, and you should be putting it in, because a key foundation for everything else in your life is your mind, body, and health. When you have control of that area, when you're in a good place in that area, everything else naturally improves, because our whole self-esteem and self-image is connected to how we feel about ourselves. And that's both in how we feel about ourselves, like in our minds, and how we see ourselves, how we feel in terms of, our energy and our well-being side, but also importantly, our image, how we look, how our body shape is, and we tie an awful lot to how we feel we look. So if you're in a body right now that you're not content with and not satisfied with, and it doesn't make you feel good, doesn't make you feel sexy, doesn't make you feel, happy to be in it, you need to change that, because the impact on relationships, your professional life, your finances, everything you do in life and all decisions you make, it impacts everything. How you feel about yourself impacts absolutely everything. So it's really important you put a focus on the mind, body, health area of your life. You really need to. It's something that should have a focus all the time, because it needs to have a focus all the time. But particularly if you're in a bad place in this area, which in reality most people are. So it's very important that you look and see, where can I improve in this area? So again, set a goal. The goal typically might be either related to the body shape or your health. So you may be suffering health conditions right now and you want to eradicate them or at least minimize them. So that might be the goal. Or it might be a goal of you don't want to get them. Maybe members of your family have had particular diseases and even have passed because of them. You want to give yourself the best chance of not getting those particular diseases. So how can you improve your health? So set that goal of, who do you want to be? What type of person? How do you want your health to be? How do you want to live? How's your lifestyle look? That might be the goal you have, and then you're working towards that. Or maybe it's a body shape. You want to look a certain way. So you want to fit into certain clothes. You want to wear certain clothes, simple thing like even a swimsuit versus a bikini, which typically a lot of time comes down to confidence as opposed to how it looks. You may want to fit into certain dresses for an event or something, whatever it may be. Maybe you don't feel comfortable right now, even something like going to the beach or swimming, or even being intimate with your partner. So you need to get to a certain shape that you will feel confident. Does that make sense? So it's very important for us to get to the shape that we want to get into. So we get clear on what that shape is. So, you may have other goals, but typically for the vast majority of people, their goal around mind, body, health would be either to do with the body shape or to do with their health. Now they both tie in together, because when you're focused on better health, the body's going to improve anyway. When you're focused on improving the body, your health has to improve too. So the two are kind of connected anyway. But it's important for you to zone in on a particular goal. Always be clear on a goal. That's something that's really important. Because again, if you're just kind of general kind of scattergunning your life in terms of just nothing you're really focused on, you're just kind of tipping away at lots of different things, you won't get anywhere. And this is why it's really important for you to, again, zone in on a goal. You can have loads of little goals, but have a goal, have a particular goal. So I hope by now you've written that down, okay? So you've a particular goal for your mind, body, and health. Next one would be professional area of your life. So what I mean by that is, what you do professionally. So whether it be you've got a job, you've run your own business, or you're self-employed, or your life is based on a mission or a purpose, something like that. So, what's your goal in that area? It's such a huge part of our lives. Most people will be involved in that work or self-employed or a business or a mission, 8 hours minimum a day, often more, especially for self-employed or business owner. So what's your goal for that? Maybe you have a job and you want to be a business owner. That might be your goal. Or maybe you're in a particular job in a particular position and you want to get to, let's say, the top or somewhere along the hierarchy of the company. Maybe you're self-employed, but you want to develop a business, which means self-employed, a lot of times it's just you and your own, but you want to have a business where there's many others like you doing what you're typically doing right now. So you're helping more people or generating more profit and turnover. Maybe you're working more on the business than in the business, or you're to step back out and have more freedom, which is what self-employed should be about, more freedom to live life and do kind of what you want to do. So, what's the image you have, or if your life is focused on a mission or a purpose, What is that mission and purpose? What is it you ultimately want to achieve? It could be, impact on starvation and hunger. It could be impact on homelessness. It could be to do all around sex crimes and rape and things like that. Like, there's so many different areas. Like, what kind of purpose do you have? What's your mission? So I want you to zone in on what is it you want to achieve professionally in your life. And like I said, this can be goals that you estimate might take 10, 20 years, or it could be you want to achieve something by the end of the year, or it could be by the end of the week. It doesn't matter. What's the most important goal to you in the professional area of your life? That's what matters. So again, be focused on that, okay? Right, so that's that one. Right, next one, financial area of your life. Money is not the most important thing in life, and it's an important mindset to have that it's not, because far too many people are so focused on it. But at the same time, money is important in that we need money to live. You do have to spend money to live, whether it be to house, food, or bills and clothes, or schools, or whatever it might be. So we do need money to live. So it's important for us to have a good money mindset, but it's also important for us to not be obsessed with money, which is what happens. Far too many people are too obsessed with it, and it basically runs their life, and it determines everything, and it's what they base everything on. It's all about how much money they make. So, for me, it's always been the case. I believe that if you do the right things and do good things, and you be of service to people and help people and be good at whatever role you have, whether that be in a job or business or whatever it might be, and you genuinely give your best, money will just come. It just comes, because again, you're putting out the right energy comes back to you. Okay, so it's important for you to think about money in the right way. But like I said, money is important, and there's nothing wrong with someone wants to be a millionaire or a billionaire. A lot of people looking, thinking, oh, greedy, selfish, whatever. You do you. You have to tie into your values and beliefs. We all have values and beliefs, so it's important for us to tie into what are our own, and what are our own values and beliefs, and be true to them, and be authentic to them, because that's really important. Okay, so make sure you're clear on what your values and beliefs are, and make sure your goals and your lifestyle and what you're aiming for and your daily actions are tied into all of them. Okay, and they're true to them, because when you're not true to your values and beliefs, all that happens is you live a life that will never fulfill you. It can't fulfill you. It's like if money is really low down in your value system, and your life is driven by money, and you think that's what you should be doing, and you're striving towards money all the time and making decisions based on money, you'll never be happy and fulfilled, because you're not being true to your values. So it's very important for you to be true to your values, whatever your views and values are around money. Okay, but we all need money, and you can do a lot of good with money too, so it's not bad. This is an important thing as well, to move away from the mindset of money being bad, because a lot of people grow up with that mindset, and I know I did. So it depends on the environment you're in. But if you have a mindset that money's bad, all that happens is when you get it, you get rid of it quick, because you associate money with being a bad person, and you want to be a good person. So it's important for you to, again, lose that kind of mindset and work on your money mindset, because it is an actual mindset. So what did you go with money-wise? Maybe it's a case of, and focus again on focusing positive, as opposed to, getting out of debt, which is negative energy. Focus more on an amount you want to earn, or amount you want to have in your bank account, or, something you want to generate that allow you to do something else. Maybe you want to do a world cruise. It's going to cost 20,000 or something. So your goal might be to, on 20th of February, 2023, you transfer or check or whatever it is, pay by card, 23,000 for a world cruise for you and your partner. That's that. Or you might want to see a certain amount of money in your bank account, or have a certain amount of cash even hidden under your mattress, whatever it might be. It doesn't matter, but have something that's a goal. Okay, and again, create positive energy around it. It's like, even with the body side of things, instead of focus on losing weight, I want to lose 20 pounds, focus instead on, I want to have a lean, toned body and fit into a size 8 pair of jeans. They're all positive, versus I want to lose 20 pounds it's negative energy. It's losing, and you attract what you're thinking, and you attract what you're saying in terms of your words. So if you're using words like that, you're focusing on losing weight. That's the energy you're putting out there, losing weight, as opposed to focusing on the adding, which is the better thing. So it's very important, the kind of language that we use too, in the way we speak. That makes a colossal difference. So make sure, again, you're very mindful of the things that you're saying as well. Okay. So at this stage, you should have a goal for your relationship. You should have a goal for your mind, body, health area. You should have a goal for your professional life, and you should have a goal for your financial side. Okay. So that's that side that's really important. Now, what's really important is to get clear on what you need to do to get there. Okay. So you have that goal, you have that vision. I want you to write them down as well in statements. So write it down 4 statements and clear. It's like even I'm happy and grateful that, and what the goal is, or my goal is, or put a date on it. On a particular date, I will, and whatever it is you said for each of those goals. Now, out of those 4 goals, I want you to pick the ones the most important. Which one needs to get your complete focus and energy and time? Which one needs to get zoned in on most? Pick out which one of them it is. Just get clear on that then as well. So it doesn't mean you can't work on the other ones. Just like you got these 4 goals, it doesn't mean they're the only goals in those areas. You may have 10, 20 other goals in those areas, but this is the most important one, okay, for each area. And now I want you to pick which out of those 4 main goals for the 4 areas is the one that's the most important. So which is most important to you, basically your relationships and making a change there, your mind, body, and health, your professional life, or your finances. Which is it that's most important to you? Again, get clear on what that is, and again, write it down. Okay? So have that clear, because what you give energy to becomes reality. That's why I'm saying to you, even like you right now at this moment have led yourself to this point. You've created this reality. It's the same again with these goals. You have to think your way to success, think your way to them, matched with action. So you need to be thinking, again, in a positive way and seeing these things happen, and make sure you see them happen. And it's important again to visualize, like visualize yourself seeing these goals playing out. Okay. Like even an exercise I've often done over the years with clients is to get them to like a success scene. So it's like picking a goal. What you said is a goal is the success point. So that's where you've achieved. Create like a little trailer, but a script, writing out a script of, what you can hear, see, depending if you're eating some taste, whatever it is, all the different senses, to create that scene. So if it was to play out as a movie for like 30 seconds or something to show that exact scene, what's happening. And it just makes it more and more vivid. And then you're thinking about that becoming a reality. And again, when you think about something becoming a reality, it's more likely to become a reality. Does that make sense? Hope it does. Make sure again with any of these shows that if there's questions you have or comments or feedback or topics you'd like to discuss, just contact myself directly or contact their media themselves directly as well. We're here to help in every way we can, and it's important that if we can help you in any way that you let us know. So like I said, any questions, any comments, any feedback of any sort, any topics you'd like to discuss or questions to be answered, just message us, okay? So now you should have a goal for each of the 4 areas. You should have the number 1 of them picked. Now, what matters once you've picked your goal and you've thought about it, like I said, do some visualization and so on and create your belief on it. What's the next step? That's all that actually matters. You need to know the steps along the way, and there's steps along the way. It might be 3 steps, it might be 10 steps, it might be 100 steps. There's steps along the way, but all that matters again right now is the next step. So once you kind of, get clear on what steps are, this is where you can write these things down, and whatever way you do it, you've got the goal, which is the end. It's like the top of the stairs. So the stairs may have 20 steps. So until you take those 20 steps, you're not going to get to the top of the stairs. And even depending if you get momentum, you may be able to jump 2, 3 steps at a time as you go along the journey. But the bottom line is you're at the bottom of the stairs. You want to get to the top of the stairs. You have to go through those steps to get to the top of the stairs. That's just guaranteed. That's fact. So it's the same for every goal. And this is why you can actually have whatever you want in life, because whatever it is you want, there's steps to get there. And if you take the steps, you'll get there. You'll have obstacles and challenges along the way. That's inevitable. That's going to happen. But how you react to those obstacles and challenges will determine if you get there or not. So it's really, really important that, like I said, you stay focused, you stay resilient, you stay committed, you show desire, you show determination, and you smash through obstacles. And you make sure nothing stops you getting to where you want to get to. Because again, you can get to wherever you want to get to. Okay? But you have to again realize, here's the goal. You're at the bottom. There's steps to the stairs. How many steps are there? And then bring it, and like I said, note some of the steps. No harm even having all the steps outlined. Have it all outlined. But all that actually matters, what's the next step? What's the next step? That's all that actually matters at the end of the day. Okay? Because it doesn't matter what the 10th step is. If you don't take the next step, you ain't going to have to worry about the 10th step. So take the next step and get very clear on it. Okay? Hope that's making sense. So I want you to decide what's the next step for that goal of your relationships, What's the next step for the goal in your mind, body, and health? What's the next step for the goal in professional? What's the next step for the goal in financial? So again, note that right now. Whatever you think right now is the next step. Because as I said, that's what matters. So get focused on that. And what you have to do then is you have to put your energy into that step. You have to avoid distractions. It's like you have to decide on one step you're going to do today. You're going to put your energy into that, you're going to zone into that, and you're going to get it done. And once that step is done, then you worry about the next step after that. And then when you're that done, the next step after that. And you keep that process. It's very simple. This is the thing, we have to start simplifying life. You can have what you want, you can achieve any goal, you can achieve any dream, but you have to take certain steps to get there. Anyone that's doing something that you would like to do, that's all they did. They had the vision, they had the dream, and they took the steps to get there, and they ended up getting there. That's all that happened. That's all that happened. And they believe, this is where again your mental health and your mindset is so important. You have to believe you're going to achieve something. So make sure you work on your mind all the time. Be very conscious of what you're feeding your mind. You know, are you mainly feeding negativity or are you feeding positivity? What kind of people are you hanging around with? What do you listen to every single day? Make sure you're consuming positive self-growth, self-development type material. You know, things that will inspire you, things that will motivate you, things that will drive you on. Stay away from negativity. Best thing you can do, turn off the news. Turn off TV even in general. You watch what you decide to watch that will serve you. That's I don't think I've watched TV, in terms of watch TV, mostly 20 years now. So if I am consuming it, I'm making a decision to consume it, whether it be to feed my mind the right kind of information I need and the right energy, or it's for escapism. But I'm deciding, I'm not just, you know, mindlessly just sitting down and watching what it's telling me. You know, it's like watching the news all the time. Stay away from this negative. When did you last hear a positive news story? It doesn't happen because good news doesn't sell, bad news does. So be very mindful of what you're feeding your mind. Because all this type of work like this, what I'm getting to do, like writing out your goals, deciding your goals, deciding on the action steps, and deciding your next action step. If you haven't got the right mindset, you're not going to make use of that. You're not going to be consistent with your action. You're not going to take the action you need. You're going to instead just take the easy option, not do anything. So it's really important to work on your mindset in conjunction with working towards your goals. The two things go very much together. Okay? So, yeah, so that's like a simple goal setting and most importantly, goal achieving. So setting and achieving process. Because like I said, it is actually quite easy, but you just have to keep going and let nothing stop you. Never let anything stop you. Okay? If you want something, go out and get it. If it's in your relationships, if it's in your mind, body, health, if it's in your professional life, if it's in financial life, or any other area of your life, if you want it, go out there and make it happen, or go out there and get it, depending on what it is. Because that's the only way it's going to happen, the only way it's going to change. Okay? So what I want you to do is to every single day go over these goals. Just read back over them. Might be no harm even just writing down on a card or piece of paper the 4 goals and star or highlight or circle the number 1 that you picked and carry it around your pocket or your wallet or your purse. Because then you're regularly touching off in the day, and every time you touch off it, you'll think of what's on it. That's just an automatic reaction. So it's like a constant reminder of that goal. Because remember, we must feed our mind, you know, thoughts about what we want. When we feed our mind thoughts about what we want, then that's where it can become a reality once you take an action. So that's where, like I said earlier about The Secret, that's where there's a lot of truth in that, and like the law of attraction, and you know, thoughts do become things, but only if you're putting the right energy around it. Okay, so regularly feed your mind those images, regularly read your goals, touch your goal cards, visualize that success in, and most importantly, keep taking action and keep focusing on what the next step is, because again, the next step is all that actually matters. Okay, so I hope that has been of some use to you. As I said, a very simple goal setting and goal achieving process. Any feedback you have on it or questions you may have or anything you want to add to it, just contact again the show or contact me directly, whichever, and just keep doing your best. And remember, the better you feel about you, the more you evolve into the best version of yourself, the better self-esteem, self-confidence you have, the more goals you're achieving, the more wins you're getting, the more dreams you turn into reality. The smile has to happen. You know, it's like this show, bringing back the smile. That's what it's about. I want you to bring back the smile to your life. But you have to own it. You are in control of it. You will decide if it's a life you're going to smile through or a life you're going to grimace through. Big difference between, again, playing the blame game and the excuse game and owning your life and going out there making it happen and living with gratitude and living with love and living with ambition and never being fully satisfied, but grateful at the same time. So hope you've enjoyed that. So I'm going to sign off now. Let us know your feedback. Please share this episode out there far and wide. It's really important that we get these kind of messages out there. Make sure you check out all the other shows that are on their media. There's so many of them, and there's hundreds and hundreds in the archives from previous years. So make sure you check all that out, and keep sending us your feedback and suggestions. And have a good one. So this is Dave Sheahan here signing off from Bring Back the Smile here on Lear Media. Have a good one. Keep focused. Keep taking action.